Hello, welcome to episode 38 of the Alec Steele Show. Fantastic to have you here again in the workshop. This is going to be a great episode because today we're going to do some more big forging. Got a piece of inch round steel in the fire, this time mild steel, unlike episode 37 where we made a draw knife and we used some kind of higher carbon, more alloying steels. Alloying is of course a verb. We've got a piece of mild steel in there and we're going to be making a spatula, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Real pleasure to have you here. Be sure to be leaving your comments below as we go. And because there are so many of them, if you have questions that you want to get answered, use the super chat feature. John Michael will be asking the questions that come through there. We got Sam here in the workshop again. How are you, Sam? How was your trip to... Oh, we need the mic, don't we? How was your trip to Sweden, Sam?
It's very good. I was quite tired all week. Too much beer was consumed.
Sam, that's very irresponsible. You know that the only beverage that you should be consuming is orange juice.
Of course.
And that's on a cheat day, Sam.
It wasn't at my expense though, so I couldn't really care less.
Ah, I see. But apart from that...
Retro well.
They're talking, I don't know what they're saying. There's a wall of noise. All good? Everybody's good? Happy?
Retro well.
Retro World is watching. Great having you here. Wonderful. Well, it's great having everybody here. We've got a piece of steel that's almost hot. I'm going to start dividing this up to make this little ladle. It's going to be interesting to see how far we can draw out the piece of inch round for said ladle. Make a little round thing. It's going to be quite the task. Lots of material to move. I'm going to make a nice long springy handle on it. Again, out of this inch round, lots of forging to do, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's very good having you all here. Hello, Channel 67. Hello, Miguel, Anax, Eric, Robert Jeffrey. Hello, Daniel Ash. Hello, Retro World. Great having you. Jeremias Betts, Lane York. Are we all ready? Are we all ready for some serious forging goodness? I'm about ready. This steel is almost hot. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing next heat here, that's my edge is a little dinged up. The first thing I'm going to be doing next heat is I'm going to come out of the fire. I'm going to probably take a glove too. Come out of the fire here. Oh, I only have right-hand gloves. This is the blacksmith's curse. Only have right-hand gloves. I'm going to be right back. So, I'll explain. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of the fire and I'm going to go over the far edge of the anvil and I'm going to divide up about 1.5 cubes of material. 1.5 cubes of material is going to be about as much as I'm going to divide up. I'm going to do that with the round side of the hammer. I'm not trying to go down to the finished dimension here at the isolation point because if I do, then when I draw out all the rest of the material, there's going to be all this wiggling woggling going on, and that's going to cause some stress rises as that's the smallest area. So what I'm going to do, 1 cube is 25 millimeters, 1.5 cubes is a little more. Boom, there we go. Half foot and half off the far edge of the anvil. Not going to draw it down any further than that for just now. What I am going to do, however, is take another heat. Why? Well, because I've explained a couple of times before, you know, some of the economics of forging. Oh, the economics of forging, which are pretty fun, and that is, of course, that, you know, because the high temperatures are in such short supply, but right now, as I'm wanting to take what is 25 millimeters round, 1 inch round, and draw it down into something that, you know, this far away from the isolation point is probably more like 1/2 inch by 1/4, and then near the isolation point is like 1/8 of an inch by 3/8 inch, perhaps. I've got so much drawing to do. There's no point doing that at the cold temperatures. You know, at this time, most valuable time for me to be forging is at the high temperatures. It's also the most scarce time, which means very, very, very high cost to us.
Alec.
What's that?
Ben Peterson says,
Yes?
evening, thinking of buying or making a propane forge. Any steps or places you'd go to help out?
Sam, you cheeky devil, you wanting to plug his new little business venture here. Sam, I'm going to take one heat and I'll give you the floor to plug your new business venture. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sam Fowler.
Am I doing this during the heat?
You're more than welcome to do this during the heat. I'll take 5 seconds to explain. I'm going to come over the far edge of the anvil. I'm going to use a 7-pounder, and I'm going to be drawing over the far edge of the anvil, half on, half off, all 4 sides. Sam, take it away. Everybody, the link to his website's in the description below. Please be sure to go support him. That's also going to help support this channel. And it's also just a real hoot of a time because you get to get yourself a great forge burner. Sam, take it away.
So yeah, thanks very much. I've taken over doing the forge burners from Alec. on the basis that he doesn't have the time to be answering the questions, doing the posting, all that. Same product.
You better still be concentrating on the
I'm
switching,
concentrating on switching. See, 2 cameras at once. But yeah, there's a few other things going on there. The wire brushes that we use, and we're bringing out a knife making kit as well. That's coming from Australia with the burners. I'm too loud. Oh, that's a shame. I'm trying to shout at the same time so Alec can hear me.
I didn't hear a single thing he said.
Oh,
so
well, that's all right.
whatever offensive things he said, you know, whatever. I didn't grab any of it.
Just
I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this exposure.
Alec, do you speak any other languages or wish you did?
That's a very good question. Well, I'm actually half French. My mother is French. So growing up, I was fluent in French and English. I learned both at the same time. But as one does, you know, one tends to speak a little less as you grow older. And so my French now is a little lacking. The little bit that I can speak, you know, I have very little accent. But no, as you don't practice these things, your tongue, you lose the tongue for the language, you know, which means that it's, you know, it's pretty difficult to really, you know, use the words in the right ways. And of course, knowing what words to use becomes a little more difficult. But you know, my French is all right. It'd be nice to be better at it. Hey, look, the real Sam Fowler is. What's going on, Sam? The audio. Nice. Were you too loud?
The burner kits come with detailed assembly instructions. It's pretty self-explanatory from the picture. The reducing coupling into the 12-inch pipe, into the inspirator, elbow, pipe, and then ball valve and hose barb. It's no more complicated than that.
You're done, Sam.
I am all done, yeah.
Great.
Well, I'm moving on to the brushes now. No, I'm joking.
Moving on to the brushes now. Great. So what's the story with the brushes? I'm not actually aware. You're going to be selling brushes?
Yeah, the brushes like
These kind of things?
yeah, exactly like that.
Very good.
Yeah, I've got them sourced locally. Where they come, they're called the USA block brush.
Yeah. Which probably means it's made from crap Pakistan.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I'm trying to. I source them from my suppliers.
Nice.
Where I buy my shoes from.
Great.
So-
Wonderful. But that's good. That means that, you know, even if you're not somewhere where you can find a place to buy them, you can grab a great brush and help support what Sam is doing and what I'm doing and have all this fun. So that's very good to hear. But should we call it a little bit of a day on the sales pitch, do you think? Actually, no, I don't think so. Because I actually there's a lot of sun in here tonight, and I feel like just wearing my baseball cap a little bit, just to, you know, deflect the rays of the sun. Link in the description below. Yes, I did. Anyway, back to the explanation of the forging. So, working half on the edge, control the aggressiveness of my blows by tilting up or tilting down. This is not a project that I've done before. I've never made a ladle. But of course, like, the nice thing about forging is, you know, you can indeed have a set of relatively modular techniques that you're applying to a whole plethora of things. There are plenty of things that I have no idea how to forge, but even when I have no idea how to forge them, such as a ladle, the nice thing about having learned a relatively modular set of techniques is indeed, okay, don't know how to make this, but at least I can give it a good old Scottish try. Isn't that right, Sam?
What?
Good old Scottish try.
The Scottish try.
Yeah, a little different from the Irish try. How many people are watching right now? 1,100. That's all right, I won't complain about that.
No, we're a little late. We're a little bit late. We had a few technical issues.
I should explain why we're late. So, it's basically like we plug the cameras in to the capture devices and it will not work unless it's like angled towards the north and unless the capture devices have been heated to a red temperature and quenched in the urine of the ginger boy. So it's been a real mythology trying to get all this technology to work together. I might have to invest in an actual real video switching board that's just dedicated for it. We'll see, I'll need to look into that. That'd be nice to really have an efficient setup time. Waste a lot of time going through this a lot of the weeks here on the live show. Okay, so I'm keeping that real thick up there at the shoulder. You know, that's gonna be much thinner a little later on. I'm gonna come back here, take a little more material. Keep drawing it out. Whew, what is new? Any fun questions coming in, John Michael?
Just the usual Damascus sword.
Damascus sword, non-stop. Everybody wants to see the Damascus sword. Oops. Cookery's getting there. Why don't I bring it in? I did just a little bit more work on it today before we started setting up for the live show. Let me see if I can find it. I was able to flatten it off properly, which is jolly good. Because of course, I explained to you guys yesterday that I had a real pig of a time trying to get two sides at least to be flat. You know, because there's a taper this way and all of this stuff. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but I have a grinding jig made by 7K Metalworks, and finally remembered I had it when I started using it, and it made life so unbelievably easy. Just drew it on through, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Tomorrow I'm going to be working on the bevel, which is going to be very daunting. Sam, if you go ahead and switch to number 2. How about the other one? There we go. Switch to number 2, you can see a little bit more of where I'm at. Not much different to where I left off in yesterday's vlog at all. Really, very little special has been done since then. It's just been a case of refining what was already there. I'm actually starting to feel a little less worried about the length of this. As I made it, I thought this would be far too large to work properly and be a relatively accurate cookery, but it seems like as I grind it, you know, the weight isn't becoming so much of an issue. It's starting to become something that actually, yes, you could foresee being able to chop with without, you know, chopping and then like your arm flying off in that direction from all the inertia. You know, there's a lot of grinding that gets done, lots of material that gets turned into dust. So to any of you guys that have taken my Evolution of Toolmaking class, either in person or on my online school, this is the same technique that we use to draw out both the drift and the hammer eye drift. Sorry, both the tongs and the hammer eye drift. The hammer eye tongs and the hammer eye drift is working half on that far edge. You know, I did most of it with the round side of the hammer. Switched to the flat as desired to then be a little bit more accurate with my blows. Get a little closer to the finished taper dimension.
Alec.
Hello.
Remember that link I sent you earlier about the top makers on YouTube?
Yeah.
The person who wrote that, 3M Productions, is watching now.
Really? 3D Productions?
3AM Productions.
3AM Productions. Well, thank you very much. He wrote a lovely article, and it's a real honor to be included in this article alongside AVE and many of the other greats on YouTube. So that was really exciting. He wrote an article where basically he was just suggesting YouTube channel for creative people to be interested in. So it's a real honor and a thrill to be, I mean, I was probably like, what, 1 below AVE or something like that? Like, that's a real honor. Of course, as you guys will have seen in the vlog yesterday, AVE and I are now battling back and forth who can rib each other the hardest. And AVE's already won because I'm not good at it. But
They've taken notice of the giant bearing now.
They've taken notice of the giant bearing? Yeah. This is, that's a big bearing.
Thomas McDaniel made a donation
Thank you so much. Sorry, what was the name? Thomas McDaniel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you. Helps us do what we do here, bringing you the awesome, as close to daily as possible blacksmithing content. Okie dokie.
While you're doing that, do you need to talk about this one or what you're doing in this heat?
What do you want to talk about, Sam?
Someone said, how do the online courses work?
How do the online courses work, Sam?
Would you want me to say or do you want to do it?
Well, if you say it accurately, you're more than welcome to.
The chances are not. I'm a farrier.
Well, yes, I mean, of course, that. I was under the understanding when I said that. Shall I explain, or do you want to explain? Sam,
I'll do it at the
give you
same time.
honors.
No,
Now,
you do it.
You have the microphone privileges.
Yeah, but
Make the most of them.
no, you can.
I need a drink of water. My throat is going to be completely destroyed after all this speaking. Thank you very much. Jeffrey Fenton, I really appreciate that. Very kind of you.
So I'm doing the online courses. The online courses are just.
Wait, hang on. Let me just explain this for you guys. The online. I'm sorry. No, you do it.
I would rather you did it because I'll get it wrong, and then it'll be live on the air forever.
Sam, it's fine. You can do it. I'll just pretend to talk while it happens.
I've not even watched a single one of them.
What? That's a terrible thing to say. Well, we've wasted 5 minutes of their lives not explaining what the online courses are. Okay, basically, online blacksmithing tool, beginblacksmithing.com. Last year, I created a whole bunch of courses for you guys to watch, and basically, here on YouTube, it's a lot more entertainment, and I'm trying all sorts of different things. You know, really pushing the boundaries of what I know. I would imagine more than anything else are the basics, and then you know the tool making and the hammer making. That's really my that's my little what would be the term? That's my entrance into the craft. It's learning how to make tools and these things, and learning how to do the basics. So at my online school, you can learn how to do these things. You know, I've got courses on how to start blacksmithing. I've got courses on how to then move on from there. I've then got courses on how to make all of the tools. Once you go through all those courses, you have all the information, apart from the practice, to be able to make all of the tools to be able to then make a hand hammer, which is pretty exciting. And that kind of follows the evolution of tool making curriculum that I teach when we do the classes here. That follows the online course curriculum. It's a variant due to time constraints. But basically, yeah, I mean, it's like you go, you buy a course, you get forever access to all of the video footage there. You know, you do whatever you want with the video footage. You can watch it as many times as you want, and basically have a blast. And I really hope that you put the information to use in the right way, which is, you know, it takes a good bit of practice for this stuff to solidify itself in your brain and you know in your muscles as muscle memory. So you know, I hope that you take that information and then do indeed go and practice it. Sam, since you're so wonderfully expertly knowledgeable in the area, was that a good explanation of what the online school is, do you think?
Yes.
Thank you, Sam.
It was correct. Well done. I wasn't listening.
So I'm just going to upsetting this a little bit. Notice I still got it nice and thick up there. Upsetting it will bend the material. If I bring it down to the true dimension, if I go too far too fast, I'm going to have some big problemos. So now once I make sure that my material is relatively centered, I can then line it up from the bottom here. You might want to switch the camera, Sam. If you just concentrate on this stuff, that'd be great. Because otherwise I end up putting my hammer in the way of the camera by accident. And then I've got to try and find a really subtle way to be polite. Ow, this is hot. Are you giving me the evil?
Sam is your apprentice or co-worker.
Is Sam my apprentice or co-worker? What would you say, Sam? I wouldn't really say either.
Neither.
I say he just kind of hangs around and
Bad smell.
that's about it.
Tito says that you need to say hello to me for him.
Tito Brown, thank you very much. I will indeed say hello to John Michael for you. John Michael, would you like me to say hello to Tito for you?
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Great, Tito, hello from John Michael. Great to see you here. They both came and took one of my classes a couple of months ago in February. March? Was it March?
March.
It was March. Yeah. So now I'm going to begin drawing out and forging the material for the actual ladle of this piece. This is going to be pretty exciting. Lots of material to move. Are you excited, Sam?
Very excited.
You're very excited.
I'm very excited.
It's very good to know. How about you guys? Are you excited? I knew it. I knew it. I could tell. I could see it in your eyes. So I'm just waiting for it to heat up. And again, another reason why I didn't draw down the shank, stem, handle all the way to finished dimension is because as I do all this work on the spatula itself, I'm going to be oxidizing all of that material, and knowing what happens when you oxidize the material, it makes it a terrible finish. It means also that you're losing a lot of the mass, and so by keeping it thick, it means that I can keep it from wobbling around just too much. It also means that I can keep it from oxidizing away a little bit too quickly. It means then at the end, once the spatula is all forged out, boom, easy peasy, draw through the whole thing, take 3 to 4 heats. Spatula oxidizes a little bit, less critical than the actual structure that supports it and the connection between the two. General theory I'm working on so far, if the spatula, wait, we're not making a spatula, we're making a ladle, good lord. If the ladle happens to fall off, then we'll see that my general operating theory has been completely debunked. So, here we go, to the anvil. I let and start flattening it. Not too far too fast, however, because I'm now going to drop down like this, and I'm going to want to try and make this relatively round. My best course of action here, just like when you're making a prime Brazil flour. Oh, what was that, episode 36 of the Alec Steele show? Probably start making this close to a hexagon. I'll go to 12 sides, and I'll be very close to what will be functionally a round. Tackle all that material later. I'm going to take one more heat, just rounding off that little coupon right there, which you can see here on number 2. That little coupon, not very round right now. Take one more heat, keep rounding that out.
Quirker Flea, Jez, any chance you can make a Damascus spearhead one day?
I'd love to make a Damascus spearhead one day. That's a fantastic question. Really, really would love to. Well, thank you very much.
A lot of people are commenting on the fuzzy camera. It's because of the
Which one? That one?
Oh, yeah, it's because of the capture card we've got.
Yeah,
isn't
not good.
Really very good. But we will do something about it as soon as we can.
Uh-oh. Not so good. I'm going to find a material stand real fast. I have one somewhere in the workshop. If I can find it. I'm going to be right back, ladies and gentlemen. So is the comment section basically people asking non-stop about me making a katana? Non-stop. If you're asking about a Damascus meat cleaver, I've made a Damascus meat cleaver. Very exciting. Way back in December. Any of you guys seen my material holder? Sorry?
Forging a pair of glasses.
Forging a pair of glasses, I do want to do that at some point. However, I would have to forge the material, then have the rest of it kind of CNC cut out, I believe. Oh, Daisy. Okay, Dougie. I do, in fact, have a little cold shut in there. Cold shut is where the material you're forging, you just kind of overlap it a little bit, gets druggen down. Druggen down is an English term. If you know, it's just, you might not be aware of it. It is very English.
It looks like the Daves are back.
Sorry?
We've got a Dave back.
We've got a Dave back.
Dave has sent...
Is that the
50
running thing?
Dave has sent 50-something dollars, Australian dollars, I assume.
Thank you very much, Dave. I sincerely appreciate that.
For some Easter eggs.
Sorry?
For some Easter eggs.
4 Easter eggs.
To pay for Easter eggs.
Golly, that's wonderful. Thank you very much, Dave. Happy Easter to you. So I'm going to lock this in the vise here because of that cold shut. Might want to give it the old Scottish pan, Sam. Now I'm just going to rasp out the cold shut using a Farrier's rasp. Are you going to sell any Farrier's rasps, Sam?
I am going to sell my old rasp. Cheap as anything. The best thing you can do is if you buy something else, I'll just chuck it in the box. But I haven't actually got many in stock because I just chuck them in the scrap bin usually. So when I get a few more, I'll just add them on the website as and when they're available. It'll be a couple of pounds. I'm not going to try and make loads of money on it. But
Whew. How are we all? Everybody wants a Damascus. Thor's hammer 2. Just outstanding. Read some commentates. That's not English. Commentates is not English. It's, read some comments. Damascus lingerie is probably not going to happen. I do appreciate the question though. Thank you very much, the Mac Dub Sith. Pickaxe Mattock for a future project. Great idea. Great idea. So many questions.
the sweeping time-lapse images are all magic, aren't they?
The what?
The sweeping time-lapse images are all magic, aren't they?
Which sweeping time-lapse images? I don't know anything about it. All I know is that whenever I'm doing anything that happens to be fast motion, I just do a little bit of work and then I run and I move the tripod. And you just do it enough and it goes very seamlessly. It has nothing to do with an awfully expensive tripod.
The dub side that sent...
I read that already.
Oh, well then.
Head of the game. It has nothing to do with an extremely expensive tripod and slider setup. It has everything to do with that. What I have is doing these panning time lapses. It's a tripod and slider system. It's all automated and very fancy. But I think it really adds to the aesthetic of the video. I'm really pleased that everybody seems to be liking it. Sam, are you ready for us to do a little bit more forging?
I'm very ready. Are you ready for us to do a little more forging?
How's the exposure looking on the two cameras? No, I mean when there's hot steel.
Oh, that one's off now. That one's fine.
Is this on auto exposure? Let me see if I can fix this, ladies and gentlemen. Do-do-do-do.
Is the Bridgeport repaired? It's not, is it? You just
No, Bridgeport isn't repaired.
You just used it broken.
Yep. Just used it broken because I'm a rebel.
Damascus lightsaber. Is that possible?
Sorry?
Damascus lightsaber.
Hang on a second. Damascus lightsaber is not possible. Sorry, I keep forgetting how to use
Is
this
it more
particular
likely
camera.
there'll be Damascus lingerie than it will be a Damascus lightsaber?
Neither are very likely, I apologize. Alright, let's see how this works. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Do a little forging. So I'm just working in the middle right now. Round side of the hammer. Turning it with every blow. Because why not? I'm working at a slow pace anyway. This means I'm, getting a little bit more of an even forging, right? Currently working just in the middle. Another thing to note, when I work in the middle, I create this kind of concave impression there by switching it over and then laying a concave on a flat surface, less surface area, which means obviously less conduction to the anvil, makes the heat last longer. Which doesn't really mean anything at all if you're going to spend the rest of your heat talking about why it's important that your heat lasts longer, but probably a good thing. Ah, hello everybody. Damascus pine cone, no, absolutely not. Mikhail de Graaf. Why not make a Damascus wood clamp for the samurai carpenter? That's a very good question. The reason being, I'd have to tap an Acme thread seems a little complex. And also cut an Acme thread on the male. That seems awfully complex, so I don't think I can do that. Hey, maybe one day. Once I get AVE level skills on the old Colchester lathe there. Damascus Captain America shield. That would be pretty sick. I like that suggestion. Who made that?
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, I got another cold shut there. Just a little accident with the hammer. I'm going to hold on to it. No, I don't need to hold on to it. Just grip it with the vise. Boom, there we go. Easy, let me squeeze it back in the forge. I wonder if Colin Furs is watching again this week. That'd be exciting.
3am Productions said, would you be interested in an interview?
In an interview? Absolutely. Love to. That'd be great. Shoot me a contact form on the website. Contact block is at the very bottom of the page. I indeed try to hide it. It's easy to find if you truly find it.
I'd like to know, is a heavier hammer required to work larger stock, or can you do everything with something like a 2.5 pound hammer?
It's a great question. What was the name again?
Mark Riggs.
Mark Riggs, fantastic question. He's asked, is a heavier hammer necessary to do all sorts of work, or can you do a lighter hammer? A lighter hammer is perfectly fine. Plenty of people use a much lighter hammer. The reason I use a heavier hammer is only because I want to show off and really blow up my ego. That's it, really. It's like caveman tendencies, wanting to use a heavier hammer. There's completely no logic to it. That's about it. You can use a light hammer, it'll do just as much. Weird form of humor I'm attempting there. Okay, so reality is, different work requires a different hammer, and different desires from your work requires a different hammer. You can do this perfectly well with a lighter hammer. It's going to take more blows, and I would argue to do this amount of work with a 2-pound hammer is going to take more effort. Right now I'm taking this and I'm very gently using my body to, gently soak that 7-pound hand hammer up and down. And I get it, I've been doing this for a very long time, not necessarily in terms of years, but in terms of how my body has developed to it. I've started blacksmithing when I was 11 years old, which means I have the great joy of my body growing into its finished shape, swinging a hand hammer, which means that I'm relatively well tuned to it, luckily. Now, that might not be the case for you, and of course, as people go on in life, get different injuries, one ages. I mean, it's a little more difficult to use a heavier hammer. Absolutely use a lighter hammer. However, without a lot of practice in swinging a light hammer very effectively, you're going to probably find it difficult to easily do similar amounts of work as you would with a heavier hammer, which is fine. That's how it goes, If we can only drive a slower car, we get to the destination a little slower, and that's perfectly fine. Cross benefits to all these things. It's not worth really worrying about if we do have to use a lighter hammer, and it takes us a little bit more time. Just like there are many occasions where, a heavier hammer will make you take more time. If I'm doing a little piece of jewelry, I'm going to expend far more effort using a heavier hammer than I will using a light hammer, because with the heavier hammer, you have to expend energy in slowing it down. With a light hammer, you don't. Again, when I do light work on the forging, no point having the heavy hammer. There's no point, because you've got to expend more effort in slowing it down, plus you don't get as much return from the anvil helping the hammer come up. And that means it's a little more difficult. When you're not doing big blows and you're using a heavy hammer, you have to rely on just your arms to lift the hammer and drop the hammer. However, if you're doing big blows, you're able to jump the hammer up with all your body. There's all sorts of variables that go on here. Very soon, a lot of people rely on the calculation of velocity, mass, mass times velocity squared to determine, and say, look, a smaller hammer swung faster will do more work. I'd be interested to see just how much faster one can swing a smaller hammer. Now I have some equipment that can really get some pretty accurate measurements on the velocity of the hammer at impact. So I'll be doing some of these experiments very soon here. Probably in the next 10 days or so, a video will come out where I'm basically exploring a little bit the velocities at impact, or at least close to impact, of different weights of hammers swung in different ways. That'll be pretty exciting. There certainly is a lot of contention in the blacksmithing community regarding weights of hammers, yada yada yada. And of course, I'm certainly not fueling the controversy by standing here on a live show to 1,500 people or whatever it is right now, swinging a 7-pound hand hammer. Of course, that has nothing to do with why there's a controversy. You know, naturally, people are quite passionate about this.
Jonathan Evans studies physics and wants to do the maths for you.
Ooh, great! Because I can't do maths to save my life. Shoot me an email. Love to have your help. That'd be wonderful. My math skills are about as close to just being able to plug in a 3-digit number into my iPhone calculator. I get lost when I get to the 4-digit numbers as I'm plugging them in. So I would appreciate your help a lot. That'd be very good. Thank you. Oh, how's everything going for you, Sam?
It's been fun. Yeah.
What are people saying now?
Same as what they're saying on your phone.
Yeah, my phone's all turned off.
What?
It depends how much concrete you have. If you have a thick enough concrete and the power hammer that you're using is able to be mounted on such thin concrete, then it's fine. You know, I have about 6 to 8 inches of concrete, I believe, here, and I have 220+ pound power hammers mounted on it, perfectly fine. So now I'm going to work in a circular motion around this. Take another heat, no point hammering on the cold metal. Wonderful.
Anthony has joined us.
Anthony, 7K himself. Wonderful having you here, 7K. Great, 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 great. Used your jig a lot today, that'll be in tomorrow's episode. Whether that comes out tomorrow or Monday, we'll see, but part 3 of the cookery video includes a lot of 7K's jig, which is good. There's a link in most of my video descriptions to his website, which is quite lovely.
Why the rounding hammer and not use a crossbeam?
Why the rounding hammer and not use a crossbeam? Because a crossbeam is no use right now. I'm not trying to peen out the material laterally. And even if I was, I'd be able to tilt this. I'm trying to peen out the, or draw out the material in a roundness. Drawing it out in a roundness. It's a scientific term for round. So yeah, that's all exciting. Samurai Carpenter's hard at work making. I was stunned that he wanted to make me something in return for the chisel. That was truly wonderful of him. Really, really nice guy. You know, if you watch my videos, you watch some of Samurai's videos, and you didn't subscribe, what on earth is wrong with you? His videos are, you know, fantastic, brilliant gentleman, definitely worth subscribing to, and seeing the wonderful tidbits of information he has to share, and the wonderful ethos he portrays in his work, and really, really very exciting. You know, he's making a wonderful project for me. It's a beautiful box, and he sent me a couple of progress pics, and I'm just itching to see it in real life. The whole idea with this collaboration, I'm going to let you in on the secret. Why? Because you're watching the live show, and here on the live show, you guys get special access. He's making a box. I'm going to make the hardware. I'm going to try and make Damascus hardware. Damascus steel hinges and handles and doors and like all sorts of fun things, all out of Damascus steel on this beautiful box that he will have made. And it's going to be another jaw-dropping collaboration, another extraordinarily exciting piece to work on. And I'm sure it's going to be an honor to own such a piece of his fine woodworking craftsmanship. And then it's just purely up to me to do it credit with some hardware, which which will be very exciting because I don't think I've forged any hinges ever, so that'll be a wonderful little challenge for me. Gonna come in here with a file real fast. Just really make sure that I don't get any stress rises in there. Radius it off a little bit. What a fun little project here. Always fun to hang out with you, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. I dare say, we've been really lacking on the old Alec Steele drinking game here. If you're not familiar, if you're new to our little weekly show here. What's that noise? Huh.
I didn't hear a noise. What did it sound like?
I think it's a ghost.
Replicate the noise.
I think it's a ghost.
What did it sound
So,
like?
How do you keep your arm muscles even?
my arm muscles are not even at all.
Why is your left arm stronger than your right arm?
It's not. I have extraordinarily difference in arms. As much as I would love to thrill all of the millions of female viewers that are watching this, out of sympathy for the male viewers that are watching this, I won't flex right now on camera. Sorry, ladies. I know it'd be quite the thrill. But I have a very large difference between the right side of my arms and the left side of my arms. Because, you know, that's how it works. Most of the work is done here, not so much here. Just holding material. Funnily enough, Brian Brazil used to say that he was more tired from hard work in his left arm than he was in his right arm from gripping the material and holding heavy weights. And interestingly enough, for him, you know, despite the fact that, you know, he spent 35 years blacksmithing, you know, every single day swinging a hand hammer, for him, his left hand developed to be stronger than his right hand, which is very odd. You know, because for me, there's a difference in size even from my left to my right hand being larger from swinging the hammer. I don't swing a hammer all that often, you know. These live shows, in this live show, I will swing a hammer cumulatively more than I have all week. Far more. Probably twice more. I have a few occasions to swing a hand hammer. You know, when I can, I use the power hammer. I intend to do it for a long time, and hey, that power hammer's
Alec,
cheap.
Make It Extreme channel said hello.
Hello, Making It Extreme. I watched some of your videos today. While I was gearing up to do some work here in the workshop, I sat down. I had to transfer a load of files off my computer because it fills up so fast. You know, there's a terabyte SSD on there. It fills up so fast. I had to dump it all off onto a hard drive. While I was doing that, I thought, golly, let's have a look at Making It Extreme's videos. And I did, and they were awesome. I watched you make this crazy bike with these like with car wheels. Then you welded up the whole thing, and it was awesome, great video. So I'm real honored to have you here on the live show. Thank you very much for being here. I'd love to work out some sort of interesting collaboration in the future. That'd be a lot of fun. So as this gets thin, my material cools down faster and faster with every heat. Take another heat. Wonderful, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, wonderful to have you here. It's late here in Norwich. It's midnight, but it's all good fun. The stream started rather late because, well, firstly, there was this advert for, what was it, Dodge Hellcat?
No, Dodge Demon.
Dodge Demon that Sam showed me, which then got into a conversation about
Top Fuel Dragsters.
About top fuel dragsters, yeah. Which then got to me being completely stunned that these things, 300 miles an hour, right?
Yeah, in quarter of a mile.
In a quarter of a mile. I didn't know any of this. I guess I'm just completely uncultured. So we then ended up watching a short documentary about that. And then it's like 20 minutes to 10. We're like, right, let's get the live show going. And then we have a load of hardware and software issues. We're here now, that's what's important. Wait, how did I start that train of thought?
It was because it was today. It's because we started late.
Oh, that's why we started late?
Because
And why
it's
did
now, because it's midnight. I don't know.
Why did I start talking about that?
I don't know.
Can't you read my mind, Sam?
No, not from here.
Keep making sure that we're not stressing anything out there. It's good, it's nice and strong. You know, this is good, this is good. So one of the big risks that you can have with this. Now, I've never made a ladle of any sort. No, never made a ladle of any sort. But I've made leaves and things like this, and I too have dealt with the issue that a lot of you beginner blacksmiths are dealing with whenever you're making leaves, and that is having a stress fracture arise right here. Hopefully it doesn't happen later on, otherwise I'd be completely disproving myself. But what I find helps is, you see, I've drawn down the material near there. I've kept it rather thick, which means it's not flopping around quite as easily. What I've also done is I've extended that drawn down material and created this kind of bar section, even cross section for a couple of inches, which means that if it bends, it's not bending in one very concentrated spot, rather it's bending across the length of 2 inches or so. Now what that means is, of course, if you take a piece of steel and you bend it just there, you're exposing extraordinary stresses right over that half-inch of material where the bend is. However, if you take a 2-inch long piece of material and you bend it, terrible explanation, but the stresses that you would have been concentrating into a half-inch are spread over 2 inches. Makes it a little better, means you don't have to worry quite as much about developing a stress fracture.
What would you say? How do you sort of calculate, or how much do you lose to scale?
Sorry?
How much material do you lose to scale?
How much material do I lose to scale? I've heard somebody once say that you lose a percentage of the mass per heat. He's a hammer maker, Nathan Robertson, makes beautiful hammers. Worth checking out if you're in the market. He used to say that there's a percentage of the material's mass per heat scale. I don't know how necessarily true that is. I don't know how that's going to differ as you go up in size, down in size. You know, naturally the surface area to volume ratio is going to be different as you go up or down in size. For example, with a thin piece of material, you know, you've got a much larger surface area to volume ratio, probably going to be losing a lot more mass and oxidation than on a large piece. Now, do I calculate how much material I lose to scale? I don't really mind.
That was me being ambiguous with the question. You answered it in the first instance.
What did I say?
I shouldn't have said calculated. It was how much, rather than allowing for the calculation, because someone just asked, knowing how much you lose, you know.
Well, I don't know how much you lose exactly, but you know, I've heard a percentage point, but that's going to depend naturally as you go up or down in material size. It depends on, you know, your heat times, yada, 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 yada. It depends. Caveat, 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 ad infinitum, you know.
Do you know the lead time from for the t-shirts to the UK?
Lead time on the t-shirts to the UK. My experience with them when I've ordered my own from them, it's pretty much like 10 days, something like that. So 10 days from order, you should have the t-shirt. You know, if it's like 3 weeks and you haven't received the thing, let me know. You know, I'll chase it up, see if I can get some tracking information on it. I'll help you out. What's that? I'll be able to read it. We're all good. Thank you. I've got it right here. Sorry, guys. We've created a good old-fashioned quagmire here. Kilroy's workshop is sponsoring on behalf of his students, aged 10 to 18, many of whom are watching now. Great having you all here, Kilroy's workshop. If you're ever in Colorado Springs, we'd love to arrange a class at our school. They gravitate to your energy. Well, thank you very much for the lovely message. Sincerely appreciate the little donation there. Very kind of you, and hello to everybody at Kilroy's workshop. Welcome to the workshop. Got some steel racks here and an anvil and all that fun stuff, which I'm sure you're very well aware of. but it's very good having you here. I'll be sure to let you know if I'm ever out at Colorado Springs.
I say you're almost hitting like that like a farrier.
I dare say I almost am. Do you have your hammer handy? I think I could really use with a 3-foot handle and stand back here with my feet together, arse on the wall, and just whip that thing through at supersonic speeds.
Alec, a common asked question is why cut, grind, and re-weld and not fold and re-weld?
It's because I'm not a real Japanese master. I don't know how to cut a piece of material and fold it. I don't know why I'm getting all sassy with you guys asking a perfectly legitimate question. Let me think, why am I getting sassy? I'm getting sassy because that question gets asked so much. And I believe I've answered it in many of my videos, or at least alluded to the answer. Do you think I've alluded to the answer before? Sounds
Maybe.
skeptical.
I don't know.
Well, why don't I answer it again? Might that be helpful?
That would be a good idea.
Mightn't that be helpful, my dear Sam? And my dear audience? Right, so, the reason that I forge out the Damascus steel, pen welded steel, I grind it and I cut it and I re-weld it, is this way the Damascus steel you see people making, where they kind of, forge it and cut it and, forge it, cut, fold and weld it. They're not so focused on the end grain of the material. Almost all my forge welding, I'm focused on developing the pattern at the end grain of the billet, right? Now, I'm not able to control the orientation of the stock so clearly and how it all goes together if I simply hot fold it and stack it back together. Now, I have done this. I've done 4-way stacks where I've kind of hot folded it and put it back together. I've just not made videos about it. When I was thinking about going on forged in fire, I I burnt that piece of steel. That's not good. Don't burn your steel. I need to be very cautious to not get interrupted by you guys. That's my own fault for not paying attention there. Burnt a little bit of steel. It should be fine. I'm gonna tone this down. I've done it, when I was trying to practice for forged in fire, when I was thinking about going on it. I did some 4-way cut and stacks that would be suitable for a mosaic piece, for example, and had good success with it. But you just lose a little bit of control. Now, what you also lose, the other negative to doing it this way, is you're very liable to get inclusions into your forged surface. Now, I burnt that area here on this edge there. Now, that's going to be liable to crack if I forge that too cold. Now, burnt it. You kick the camera. Burnt it. It'll likely be rather brittle right now. So if I get a crack develop, it's probably going to be right in there, which will be an issue. Or right in here, where I'm getting a sharp angle develop, which could be a stress riser, which is a great opportunity for me to run in with a rasp. And just round it off slightly, losing my balance.
Just move the handle. There you go. Love.
Sorry? Okay, burning steel. So, steel, when you heat it up, hot enough temperature, because there is oxygen in the atmosphere in the fire, heat it up to hot enough temperature, what will happen is the oxygen will react so fast with the steel that it is in fact burning. Rust itself is a form of burning, am I right? Phew, thank goodness. Woo! I'm pretty sure I slept about 3/4 of the way through high school chemistry class until I dropped out, but at least I got just about that far. So rust itself is burning. What I mean when I say I'm burning the steel is I'm getting it so hot that it's oxidizing so incredibly fast that the material is literally disappearing before your eyes, rusting away before your eyes because it is just so hot and because there is just so much oxygen in the atmosphere. Huh, wasn't that dramatic? When I said that, sounds depressing.
Someone said, how about making an ornate door knocker?
I should have seen episode 1, dude.
What, like 7 months ago?
With how many viewers?
About 20.
Yep.
1,800 people at the moment.
You guys need to share the stream. Last time we had over 2,000. Let's get there on this one. Okay. Next heat, I'm gonna planish over the whole thing. Might take a couple of heats of planishing and refining. Should have done a little more work on the stem there. So of course, earlier I was talking about how I plan my heats. I actually made one mistake. I drew the material down for the blade of the ladle too far, too fast, which means that now as I draw out the rest of the stem, I've got to be very fast so as to not oxidize out the spatula, the ladle side too much. This is going to be an issue that is going to haunt me for the rest of the process of making this. We're going to see how well this goes nonetheless. Da-na-na-na! Cue the intense music. After the break, we will return to see whether Alex ladles or fails. Is it gonna ladle or fail?
It's going to fail?
You think it's gonna fail?
I don't know.
Golly. Not
Someone
much
asked if you're
confidence.
digging yourself a hole.
Sorry?
Someone asked if you're making a shovel to dig yourself a hole.
God, witty. I feel way more embarrassed than the kid in the canteen who dropped all his food.
This live stream is much better than last week when Sam was AWOL.
Oh, burn! Burn! Sorry, John Michael. Sam made that comment up.
No, I did not.
So where that material burnt there, Sam, you go ahead and zoom in on that. Fracture. Can you zoom in on that?
That's as far as it goes.
Great. So this here is where the material burnt. It's extremely thin and weak. I'm going to see if I can kind of get in there a little bit with this file, grasp, and just weak it somehow. You know, overall profile can be tweaked pretty well with the rasp. Right now I'm going to lock that in the vise.
What would you say is the most technically difficult and challenging piece you've made out of Damascus pattern welded steel?
American flag Damascus was pretty tough. So was the British flag Damascus. Sorry, guys. Got many ladies in the chat today, this week. I know last week we had quite a number of them, i.e. like 4. Trust me, that's just amazing for this channel. Just because of all this masculinity, you know? Right. Which if logic were to play any part in that statement, would mean there'd probably be more of them, but oh hum.
CS Smidge 26 says, I'm a busty lady.
What?
I'm a busty lady.
Thrilled to know it. Welcome. Okay, great.
Kylie Powell said, masculinity? Where?
Oh! Oh, no, he didn't.
Never do that again.
What, this?
Yes, never do that
It was a
again.
wave. It wasn't this thing. It was a wave. It wasn't this, I promise. I almost did that, so I was very consciously aware of avoiding doing it.
Kilroy's Workshop. Blacksmith classroom stat. Roughly 40% of our students are girls.
Congratulations!
Aged 10 to 18.
That's outstanding. I mean, I honestly, that's truly incredible. Good Lord, the viewer statistics here on the website, on the YouTube channel, are 98 to 2. I don't think I need to. Absolutely, which is wonderful. Which is wonderful. I apologize, women. You know, you're husbands dragging you through this tumultuous and difficult live show. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna try and slide this all the way through. Great. There you go. I've got it sticking out the other end of the forge there. So the spatula bit. Spatula or ladle. A ladle bit. So the ladle bit is sticking out the other end of the forge. Hopefully it's not going to oxidize as much. Does mean the material where I'm going to be holding is going to be hot as hell. So I either hold it in a pair of tongs, or I go all medieval, yo, and get me some chainmail. So I'm going to grab some chainmail real fast. See if the dexterity on these things, just a hair lacking. It's fine, you know, not intended to have massive amounts of dexterity. I don't know how well this is going to go. We'll give her a go. Got the forge toned down quite a bit. It's, you know, also fine. Got it toned down because I don't want to be over-oxidizing that one end where it's a little more critical.
There are three of us. Is John Margaret going to be a regular thing?
Until they move me back to the States.
Until they move it back to the States. Right, yeah.
How do you mount your power hammer if you don't want to cut in the concrete and dig a hole? Chemical anchors. Vinyl resin chemical anchors. You drill a hole, you clean it out, fill it with resin, stick some all thread in there, mount it down. That's how I've done all of mine. I've got 6 to 8 inches of concrete for, you know, 100 to 130 pound hammer. That's perfectly fine to go on that much concrete. Provided your neighbors are okay with it. God, my poor neighbors probably want to crucify me. Okay, so when I gain in heat, what is the word? When I gain in ability to hold hot material, I do lose in dexterity slightly. Don't quite have the dexterity I'd like, as I said I probably wouldn't with these chainmail gloves. However, I'm holding this piece of steel here, which is certainly 200 degrees Celsius, if not more, and it honestly just feels quite cool. I don't feel any heat whatsoever through these chainmail gloves. It's pretty neat.
Alec,
Yo.
can you say hi to someone?
No.
Never mind.
Who?
Cassie.
Who?
Cassie. Kathy. Say hi to Kathy.
Hello, Kathy. Welcome.
It was supposed to be Cassie.
I don't know what sort of inside jokes you gentlemen are playing.
Say hi to Cassie.
Everyone else wanted you to say hi.
But we said Kathy because they're funny. We're humorous.
Chainmail itself doesn't heat up that much either. These are Mailtech, M-A-I-L-L-E-T-E-C Industries gloves. I feel very medieval in them, which is wonderful. Very good. Nicholas Kilmayer says hello.
Hello, Nicholas.
How are you today, Nicholas? Okay, there. Whew. What's going on, guys? Got silence here. No banter. Just staring at your phones and...
Only because your phone's got a flat battery.
For Damascus versus a giraffe.
Damascus giraffe. Why a giraffe? Right, well, can you guys make fun talk while I...
How do you dodge the scumbags on Dereham Road?
The what?
The scumbags on Dereham Road.
How do I what?
Dodge the scumbags on Dereham Road.
Sam goes up and down Dereham Road quite a bit. Sam, if you want to allude to that, you go for it. I'm going to grab some more.
That's where Leah got her speeding ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my other half got a speeding ticket on the elusive Dereham Road, which is about a mile and a half away from the workshop. So I gave her a load of grief for getting a speeding ticket.
She's probably got she's probably got some valid reasons for it though, you know?
Yeah.
Dodging the scumbags.
Yeah. So I gave her a load of grief for getting a speeding ticket. What landed on the doormat this morning? A speeding ticket for me.
But of course, it was while you were on your way to rescue a sick horse,
Of
right?
course, yes. Stands up in a court of law. Do I ever shoot the horses up by the UEA? Whereabouts?
So I'm just rounding this off. Got my hand hammer, 3/4 on, 3/4 off, 3/4 on, quarter off the anvil here. Rounding and rounding and rounding and rounding and rounding. These gloves just don't quite have the dexterity that I'd like there. See if I can get away with these before melting myself.
Jamie Malee said, just got a speeding ticket too. 97 in a 60.
Who?
Jamie Malee, 97 in a 60.
That's pretty bad.
That's court, isn't it? States or the UK? I don't know.
I wonder where is more lenient, in the US or here, with speeding?
You go state by state in the U.S.
Oh, of course, that makes sense.
Ryan Wilder said earlier if you were to make a Damascus shield, he would pay for it.
That's very kind of you. I generally don't take on kind of custom orders, but it's very kind offer of you to make. Just taking my time with this, rounding it off, making it pretty. My favorite Brian Brazil quotes: "If you want it perfect, make it perfect."
Oh, he was in the UK. He had to go to court. 6 points, £120. 100 is an instant ban, so he was pretty close.
What was that, Sam? The last bit?
100 is an instant ban, so he was pretty close.
Wow.
Okay, I was doing 39 in a 30. It wasn't so bad.
Probably be terrible for a farrier to get a ban, eh?
I'd have to go over on a horse.
Do they let you on horses?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm an expert.
Really? Of course, you did show jumping, didn't you? You did that mock horse riding. Yeah. I think I saw a video.
Hobby horse riding, whatever
That's
it is.
the one! That actually exists. I'm sorry. Good Lord. I'm sorry. No, I'm not even going to try and apologize. If you're a hobby horse rider, what on earth is wrong with you? Okay, now we can continue with the rest of the show after I alienate 3/4 of my audience.
If there's any advantages of Damascus other than aesthetics.
No, there's no advantages today to doing Damascus other than the aesthetics. that itself is a major advantage. And that's why I do it. It's for the aesthetic, for the beauty of the piece that comes out once you do it out of Damascus. Thank you for asking a good question.
Colton Becker has made a donation that says, "Hey Alec, it's the zombie apocalypse, and you only have enough time to forge, harden, temper, and grind, and fit to handle the one weapon. What do you make?"
I only have time to forge, grind, heat treat, fit a handle to one weapon in the zombie apocalypse. What do I make? Now that's a little bit of a lifeboat scenario there. Because that's assuming, you know, that's assuming I don't have a weapon like right now. Or it's assuming I don't have access to things that can very quickly be, you know, I don't know. Okay, I should probably play along and I would not waste my time trying to forge something in the zombie apocalypse. I would try and get food. I would leave the urban area, go somewhere much less populated. Like, why would I forge something and then like pick up a garden hoe there and sharpen the wooden end and beat zombies over the head? Like, you know, that's all I do. How about you, Sam? What would you do?
What would
Damascus hoof knife is not applicable.
Yeah, I'd have you make a Damascus hoof knife first, just in case I survived.
There you got a really nice tool to work on the horses.
You do know it's my birthday at the end of the month.
Oh God. Do I have to make something for you?
You don't have to.
Oh, golly. Terrible. God, being friendly is such a chore.
But what would you be? What would you make if that was your option? Did you answer the question? Or did you just say you get out of the area?
I don't
really matter. The biggest, longest, lightest, most deadliest knife you could make, with a burning stake on the end.
I would
lost.
I'm looking for my brush. I just don't know why I'd be in here in my workshop in the middle of a city while there's a zombie apocalypse about to happen, trying to hand forge a weapon. You know, because I wouldn't have power, presumably. I'd just use the rest of the fuel in my tank and get out of Dodge, I guess. What would you do, Sam? Sam? Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably cry in a corner. No, I'd probably turn into like someone like Will Smith and I Am Legend. I'd get myself a cool dog and I'd sleep in a bath. And then I'd save the world.
Wow. Way to make a spoiler. I was looking forward to seeing that movie. I hear it just came out.
No, it didn't. A long time
I've
ago.
seen it before. That's good. I can't remember the content.
Same time as The Waterboy.
Oh, back in the day, eh?
My birthday is the 28th.
Sam's going to be 58.
58. Someone said I should forge a horseshoe on a string and then just swing it around.
Lucky zombies. Zombie clubber. Oh, wonderful. So I'm basically just continuing on drawing down this material here, but rounding it off as I go, of course. Doing most of this work over the far edge of the anvil, just like, you know, when we do the hammer-eye tongs, same kind of thing. There's our zombie talk alienated all the viewers. Oh no, it's still 1790, that was doing pretty good. What PSI do you run the propane for your forge, Alec? What, do you mean the burners that Sam's currently selling at the link below? Oh. I run them at, right now I'm running it very low. I've got two burners running together at 15 PSI. This is a very low temperature. Usually my forges run between 25 to 45 PSI. You know, when I want that thing like dripping the steel, I run it at 45 PSI. When I'm doing general forging, it's usually, you know, 25 or 30 PSI. Very large forge, but that's where the burner's going to run optimally, is kind of between the 25 and 35 PSI range. Yeah, these are Venturi burners, so unlike a forced air burner that can be run at a lower pressure, these, because we're pumping the fuel through a much smaller orifice, do indeed need a much larger pressure to develop the velocity necessary to be able to suck in the atmosphere mix and create a good combustion. Isn't that right, Sam?
Wasn't listening.
Good. Okay, quite happy with that. Nice slender taper there, becoming very thick at the end. Quite happy with that. And now, oh, beautiful. Very exciting making clean forgings like this. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to take another heat right in there and just gently inch my way up, forge this, then we'll take another heat, put a bend in it, forge the bowl part of it. I do need to bend it first, actually. That's what I'm going to do after that. But poke the whole thing in the fire now. Make sure it's not right underneath the burner, so a little less oxygen, a little more of a neutral part of the fire there. I'm going to start inching my way up to that shoulder.
Someone wants to know what happened to the stray dog. I think we had it for dinner, didn't we?
What did happen to the stray dog? I thought it was pretty tasty. You know? I ate it with some teriyaki sauce.
We gave it to a vet's and then departed very quickly.
Here Sam was quite sad that he didn't get to keep
I wanted
it.
to get that's a good dog that was. I like that.
What type of dog was it?
Black one.
A what?
Black one.
A black dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, good ugly. That's straight and that'll help me get in there.
Brian Cullerton, make a Damascus Hoover.
Lies. All lies.
Will you ever make a Damascus bust of your own head?
Ha! A Damascus bust of my own head. What a jolly good question. Probably not. I don't think I can do that. As much as it'll probably be very soothing to my vanity. Ha 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 ha. I'll probably pass on that. Okay, there we go. Round all this off, and I'm not going to put it back in the fire until I have suitable means to profile this in. How am I going to do that? I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead. Cupping tool could work.
Where's that bit of wood? Do you want that bit of wood? With the
I think I have
It's
a
got,
different plan for this.
holes in it.
Yeah, I need a very... What I think I might sink it in, a little bit of pipe. Could have planned this better. I've seen people use a little bit of pipe here, and they'll roll over the ends, makes for a very nice little sinking tool. I don't have that. I have cupping tools, which will work well. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to go straight for a cupping tool. With a little small little hammer. If I can find a small hammer somewhere in the workshop, a little cupping tool would probably do wonderfully. Is there a small hammer here? I think my smallest hammer is probably about 25 pounds. Hum, 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 hum. You know where that little itsy bitsy hammer is, Sam?
The itsy bitsy teeny weeny one?
Yeah, that little itsy bitsy teeny weeny weeny weeny.
No.
No,
It might be on the table, welding table.
that's just where I was. I don't think it is. I can have another look. folks. Oh, drop the hammer. Drink.
Drop the hammer. Drink. Use the swage block.
I don't know if it has large enough round holes. Maybe. Swage block is an option, but I don't have an actual like dish in the swage block, as a lot of swage blocks have. Itsy bitsy hammer, where are you? There's an itsy bitsy hammer somewhere, I'm sure of it. Somewhere in the workshop. Legend has it. There exist small hammers. But they're lost. Huh, what a peculiar thing. Oh, 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 found it. We've got it. Right. So I'm going to take a heat on this. Oh, first I'm going to file it to a little better roundness. Make it a little prettier. Come in here a little bit. A little farrier's rasp. Destroy the ears of my entire viewing audience. Right, ladies and gentlemen. This will be concluded in just a second. Wonderful. Grab that. There. Great. Time to bend it and sink it, I guess. Oh, oh, oh. That goes straight in the forge. I'm going to drop it over this edge here. Then I'm going to sink it in the cupping tool. We all focused on that. You may want to lift it up slightly. Come up here.
I'll see all the way up there.
There we go. So if you go to number 2 first, this will be important. See this? And then that's when I'm going to start cupping it. This has some sharp edges in it. This tool is not really used for this too much. So I never really bothered about kind of taking those sharp, harsh edges off, but hey ho, it does the job. Just start sinking that. Sinking that bad boy in there. Take another heat. There we go.
Peter says there is no way that this kit was all funded in such a short space of time by himself. Trust me, I've been in the engineering game way too long already to know how much this kit costs, even second hand.
Guys, look, the truth is,
I stole it.
no, I'm funded by,
ForgeBurners.com.
I can't think of anything funny. Right, well, imagine I said something funny. I'm funded by the Walmart Corporation to trick you into thinking that handcrafts are back, whereas in reality, you're going to be trying your hand at these handcrafts and failing. You'll go right back to buying your Walmart crap anyway. Who said that comment?
It's gone. It's gone. Peter.
Peter.
Just Peter, no more.
Peter. Appreciate your very well informed commentary. No, not so true. Starting out, of course, as a 11-year-old, my first anvil, bought with Christmas money and such. Absolutely.
He knows what he knows. He knows what he knows.
Yeah. But the workshop that you see here, this is a business. What you guys might well see as you're watching my videos is, you know, young-faced looking lad making fun YouTube videos. What you don't necessarily see is the fact that I've been running a business now for coming on 3 years. Not necessarily a long amount of time, but plenty enough time for me to have accumulated a lot of equipment, reinvested into the business, and bought more equipment. I just want more equipment all the time. And it's not all that expensive, to be honest. You know, not in the grand scheme of things at all. There we go. Exciting. I dare say we've got a little ladle. I'm going to take some more cuppingness out here. Yeah, I'm still a little annoyed there about where I burnt it. A little thin. A little crinkly, heats up very fast. It means it oxidizes more and more and more. Oh, it is what it is. You learn from these mistakes and hope you do better next time. Has he replied? Okay. I'm going to cool it there for the ladle part of this. Wonderful. Now, we're going to cut it off. No reply?
To whom?
No reply from Peter?
He just says yes, he loves your channel.
Oh, that's very kind. Well, thank you, Peter. I thought you were hating on me there. I was all set for a little battle. I have a very large hammer. Am I a farrier now, Sam?
Are you a farrier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You just need to use it a little bit lighter.
A little lighter. Great. A little spatula out. That's not a spatula, it's a ladle. Goodness. Now, where will I cut off the material? I think I'll cut it off right there. Or will I isolate it first? We'll see about that. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll isolate it first. I think I might have to isolate the bulk of it first. But all this flopping around, it's going to be less than ideal. But I'm going to heat this up, and I'm going to do the bulk of the isolation here. With all that flopping around, it'll be cold. Then I'm going to cut it, then I'll turn it around and do the rest of the work. Okay, we'll see how this goes. This could be going terribly wrong here in just a second. I am going to turn the forge up, however.
Somebody wants to know if you ever sharpen your files, and if so, how?
I can ask that one.
I ask Sam for more used rasps.
Yeah, he does not sharpen them. He steals them out my van.
Yep. It's not actually that true, you know. I'm like, Sam, you haven't have any used rasps? And you're like,
Yeah, here's 5.
yeah. I have loads of them. Thank you for reminding me I needed to switch them out. That's good. Win-win kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's it. You win.
You get sharp rasps that you pay for.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need some more heat on that puppy. How often do I teach blacksmithing? Here over this past quarter in the year, I've been teaching blacksmithing quite regularly, at least once a month, if not more. Been doing classes here at the workshop. However, into the future here, in the next year, won't be doing any more classes. Classes I don't think will happen until I have a much larger space that can accommodate more people. You know, it's a real, very tiring thing doing the class, and of course, you know, it makes it easier for me, better for me, if I can have a larger number of people doing the thing at one time versus doing more classes and taking more time away from making YouTube videos. How about forging some straight razors? I'd love to make some straight razors. In fact, I have some whetstones on the way. I'm seeing a samurai carpenter make a real nice job of that chisel I sent him. I got inspired to get into sharpening stuff properly, so I have a whetstone on the way. 3 whetstones, 1,000, 3,000, 8,000 I think. So I want to make a straight razor, and that'll at least get me close to putting the required edge on it. I want to make a straight razor soon, Damascus straight razor. Potentially in the next 10 days, we'll see. Depends how time fares on that. But I'm glad that you want to see it. That's very good to hear. No, I'm keeping it, Sam. You got to concentrate on that. Confiscated. It's just like being back in school, except you probably... Were you in school at the time of mobile phones?
No, Alec. A Nokia 3310 in my day was considered... That was what year?
1902?
Yeah. Back in the Jurassic era.
Jurassic era? Did you have a little Motorola flip-up phone that you'd be texting on in class?
Oh, yeah.
There was a little Motorola?
I had a Motorola
Razor.
one. No. Before that, there was one that used to slide around that way.
Oh!
So it used to go...
So it's almost like you're flicking open a knife every time you look at your phone.
It'd go around
I must
180
confess,
degrees.
when I take my phone out of my pocket, I kind of feel like I'm drawing a gun. You know? Frickin' step to the side and grab. You don't do that? No? Just me? Okay.
No, I have to walk over the workshop to get
But
my
it'd be pretty
phone.
cool if my phone had a flick too. They have an automatic button on it, like a...
There used to be one in The Matrix, which is a film before your time, where you press a button and it used to shoot down.
That'd be pretty cool, right?
No, it existed.
So many comments, gentlemen. How old is Sam?
I don't know.
How old are you, Sam? Let's make
Old
some
enough
guesses.
to know better. Let's run sweepstakes. If you order a burner and someone gets the right end, I may think about turning you on.
Okay, this is a big old piece of metal now. This is not the right hammer for it. Okay, I'll give it a go. Ah! Come on!
Would you like me to show how it's done?
Ah! Come on! Come on! That's what I'm talking about. Come on!
Yes, now you're like a farrier. Nearly hitting it in the same place.
I'm standing the wrong way.
You're nearly hitting it in the same place every time.
Boom, 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 boom. So, it just happens to be that I need to do a little rasping anyway. That was something I needed to fix. There's a defect in the material itself, in fact. It has nothing to do with a rather errant missed blow. In case you didn't gather that, I just took a big old chunk out of it with the side of that hammer. How heavy do you think that little hammer is? A pound?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's 7 times lighter than the hammer I would have liked to use. That's hilarious. For me, at least. Back in the forge we go. What kind of accent is that? British? Now that would be really, really easy to work out. Seen the large bearing a few times, but what's it going to be used for? Ask channel 67.
People ask you if you're going to make a fidget spinner out of it.
I'm going to be making a massive fidget spinner out of it because it's in really good condition because there's no dust in this workshop. No, I'm going to cut it up and make a knife out of it. Knife is good. You know, the balls are great for making stuff. Plus it's cool and it was cheap. And I like that kind of stuff, and I'm really a... What's that?
Is Sam nerdy too?
Is Sam what?
Nerdy. Nerdy. N-E-R-D-Y.
Nerdy? Am I nerdy? I'm offended. For the sake of the nerds, they don't want to be associated with me. I can't do any maths. Oh, little blister. Good Lord. Are you as nerdy as me, Sam?
Much more. Far more nerdy.
He is more educated than I am. I didn't finish high school.
I just about did. And then I did 2 years engineering and didn't finish that. And now I'm a farrier.
God, Lee. There we go. You're right, Sam.
Yeah.
You're on the wrong screen there. He's trying to take his phone back. It's distracting you. I use propane. Never made a katana. Never bought a brand new anvil. What's up? No?
Jack of all, master of none. The burners are for sale at forgeburners.com.
A big old hunk of metal there. Come back to the near side, take another little isolation point. Didn't need all the material of the first isolation. Again, two-sided tapers. Near and far edge of the anvil. Another beautiful Brown Brazil technique. Starting to look like some sort of weird, like a bird flying into something. Art, good old modern art. Can look like nothing at all, but be rather beautiful. To some. Oh, no disdain in my voice. No, certainly not. Okay. Making no sense while I mutter there after a long heat. What's going on? Great having you guys all here. Looking back at all those comments from a few minutes ago. Regarding Peter's comment about the power hammers, it's worth mentioning I have videos up where I talk about my power hammers. I do in fact say how much I paid for them. The green power hammer that I very rarely use, because, okay, this is in reference if you're just joining. Somebody commented thinking that no way that I've got this workshop. I understand having an accent like mine can lead certain people to make certain assumptions. Aren't I right, Sam? Yeah. Easy to make some assumptions. I get it. You know, I get what you're thinking. That's fine. Totally appreciate it. But worth mentioning, the equipment in this workshop not altogether that expensive. The green power hammer that you don't see me using very often, you know, it's a £5,500 machine. For what it does and the amount of money that it can make you in business, it's not a very expensive machine. You know, green power hammer that I use every single day here, paid 2,250 pounds for it, including the VAT. I mean, come on, not very expensive either. I run a small business, you know, I do well with what I do. And the equipment is not that expensive, you know. An old clapped out Bridgeport mill does not cost a lot of money. You know that as well as I do, Peter. And when you're in business, all of this stuff, it's part and parcel of the game, you know. You need the good equipment to do what you do. And the great thing about blacksmithing is the equipment is not that expensive at all. Especially if you keep your eye out and you get good deals. Especially if you know how to use it to run the business. Now, of course, when the hobbyist blacksmiths are hearing me talk so lackadaisically, is that the right word?
It's not a real word.
It isn't lackadaisically?
You shouldn't use that word.
No. When you guys, the hobbyists, are hearing me talk so easily about spending thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, you know, tens and tens of thousands of pounds on my business, it does indeed seem very odd. You know, you'd all love to have a hobby workshop set up like this. It's one of those things, you know, where it's part of the business, it's part of what you've got to do to make a living. You know, it makes it a little bit easier to invest in said workshop. And naturally, as I started out doing this, I would have never ever believed to have 2 power hammers and a beautiful hydraulic press and all of this wonderful equipment. But it's part of it, you know. Anybody that runs a business ends up accumulating this stuff because it's what you've got to do to run the business. It's how it goes. You know, if it's a hobby, yeah, naturally, you know, you don't get to invest quite the same amount of your resources into it because it's not going to give you that same return. Hey, everything in here you see is an investment. Every live show I do is an investment. You know, think about it that way. Whoa, it's getting very soggy and hot.
Jim Marlowe says you should be very proud of the workshop you built.
Sorry?
Jim Marlowe said you should be very proud of the workshop that you built.
Thank you very much, Jim Marlowe. I sincerely appreciate it. No, I'm certainly extraordinarily proud of the workshop I built.
You built.
It's a wonderful thing to be able to walk in here, you know, and really see the result of.
You did a wonderful job of building it.
Thank you. Oh, you're trying to get snarky about the fact you helped put this roof up. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, it's real smart. Real nice. Yeah, of course, you know, many people help me to get to this. Sam, help me put this roof up, you know, yada, yada, yada. The list goes on about all the wonderful bits of help like this. But, golly, what fun.
That was a fun day, that was, putting the roof up.
One day.
One day, roof and the sides up. And we did it with your father and one of his friends who's an engineer.
Absolutely.
And there was me and Alec just climbing on roofs. And
it was like 2 teams. It was 2 teams. My father and this great friend of mine that's an engineer kind of teamed up as the team precise, team spirit levels, measuring angles, make sure we pilot drill holes. And Sam and I are at the other end.
Impact drivers.
Blitzing through, you know, freaking 2x4, the whole way down. Freaking get her done. And it went pretty well, right?
Yeah.
We have one square side of the workshop, and there's a reason that we film in this direction. Has nothing to do with there being a shipping container attached to my workshop. Whoa! That is getting a little. I tell you what else was fun. Just before my birthday this year, Sam and I, how many days we spent? Kind of 3 or 4 days, putting in 2 days.
2 days.
Putting in a mezzanine in my workshop, like a massive shelf, which has been really helpful to better organize the space here. Yeah, it's a very small workshop. I've only got about 700 square feet. And that was fun. Crawling around up there, putting all that stuff up onto the walls. Got a little electric winch. God, good times, eh, Sam?
That was good.
Good times. And then one day he's like, right, I'm heading off. You head off at like 8 o'clock in the evening. He shows up again at 9 o'clock the next morning and I'm still here. And he goes, hey, have you left? And he looks up and I've like finished the rest that we were gonna do the next day. I'm like, nah, I just figured I might as well power on through here. Oh, that is fun. Ooh. Okay, that's about to want to break off.
The Harry Rocks is kind of dropped. The Harry
No,
Rocks
that was important. That was done on purpose.
drop forged.
The what?
Hang on. The Harry Rocks, or the Harry's are okays, whatever we're saying. So all this effort for a ladle that the machine can make of superior quality in under a minute. I guess he's missing the point of making something from scratch rather than making...
What?
Just read it.
I'll read
the
it.
top.
So there's so much background noise, it's very difficult. Right, where is this?
It's the one with my name highlighted.
Oh, so all this effort for a ladle that a machine can make of superior quality in under a minute? Abso-damn-lutely. This is way more fun.
Why do you do that? Every time you pass my phone back to me, you turn it off. Every time. Then I have to turn it back on again.
Yeah. Ah. I have sweat in my eyes, which is me actually really crying in apology, Sam. I'm so sorry.
Good.
Hope you'll accept my apologies. Oh, goodness. Right, we're back. Back, ladies and gentlemen. We have this ladle turned around. I still have, I'm blind out of this eye. Still have sweat covering it. Oh, I burnt it. After all that nice work printing it up. That's what you get for reading YouTube comments, ladies and gentlemen.
Chubb says, do we have... I'm assuming Chubb's not from Chubb Security.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Can you say it louder?
Chubb has said, do you have much in the way of security at the workshop?
Do I have much in the way of security at the workshop?
I'm
well,
pretty
Sam
sure...
is here.
I'm pretty...
He's a pretty good guard dog.
Yeah. CCTV, alarms,
Dogs,
yeah, prostitutes,
claymores, the swords and the mines. Nails. Lots of tetanus. Plus a mean look. Tell you what, it's all the security I need. Yeah. Mean look. Trust me, I used to be a bouncer.
in all seriousness. There's about 5 padlocks and CCTV and all sorts going on. And it's really annoying because if Alec leaves the workshop really late, then my phone goes off in the middle of the night telling me that Alec's left the workshop really late. And vice versa, if I go to the workshop really early, Alec's phone goes and tells him I've gone to the workshop really early. And it becomes into a bit
It's
of...
funny because I'll sometimes be here at the workshop and just unannounced Sam shows up and I'm like, how do you know I was here? He's like, oh, I looked at the CCTV. Oh. And then he'll be working in the workshop and then I'll be out running an errand. I'll be looking at the CCTV and I'm like, send him a message, Sam, get off your phone. Right, so I'm about ready to carve this sucker. I'm gonna turn down the forge first though.
Chris Wells said, love it, tetanus infected prostitutes with a mean look, that's enough security for me.
Yep, pretty much. No, they're nice down here. They really like keeping it nice and crime free. The prostitutes, that is, that hang around outside.
Fun fact, UK has 0.3% land mass, 90% of it is covered by CCTV.
As
Or
what?
90% of CCTV. I'm not exactly sure 90% of what.
Sounds like that fun fact is...
Yeah, it doesn't sound too much fun. Yeah.
That's why I keep confiscating your phone, Sam. I'm gonna take another heat. Hey, I have some comments I want to I just want to read some comments real fast, Sam.
Oh, hang on.
Mind if I just go ahead and
Just,
run in?
no, because
I might revoke your microphone privileges, Sam.
mine's over there.
Why do you spin and tap the hammer on the anvil?
Because it makes me look cool. For the ladies. No, it's like a rhythm thing, you know. Helps you just kind of keep a good track about what you're doing.
See, a lot of people will say focus, you fat. Like AV, but I
Sam,
prefer...
children are watching.
I prefer the John Fashanu focus. From, what was he on? Oh, it was like Record Breakers or something like that. This was showing nearly my age.
Oh yeah, the ripe old age of 23, Sam. You are really old.
Like Home Alone.
And what?
Lego brick.
That's so damn good. What are some of the other great things they had in Home Alone?
Paintings on the roof.
Yeah.
Paintings off the...
I actually have some of those up there, but that's only because I'm badly organized and I treat the roof as like a really handy dumping ground. Is that where you guys threw my nice hand?
In the river.
Yeah. Oh, listen. You guys are mean.
Alec, could you do a little bit of technical information on what size burner you should use?
It depends on the size of forge that you're using.
Thank you very much.
Was the question literally just what size
Do
burner
you have
should
any
I use?
recommendations or videos on deciding which burner I should use? Depends what size forge you've got, depends what you intend to make, depends how quickly you want the steel to heat up. Depends how much gas
Basically,
you want
my
to
forge,
use.
you guys need to... Sorry, I apologize, Sam.
It's fine.
Sorry. Do you want to...
No, you carry on.
Are we good?
It's good.
You're not going to like shut down this... Oh God, he's making grimacy faces at me. My forge, guys, I don't want you to try and emulate my forge size. It's obnoxiously large. I have no use for a forge this size apart from when I'm teaching. You know, obnoxious gas guzzler. You know, don't make a forge this size. My ideal forge for making Damascus steel would be like 6 inches wide by 3.5 or 4 inches high by maybe 14 inches long. Much smaller than this. Stop trying to make forges this large. I'd use 2 1-inch burners on that forge. If I was to have a 6-inch wide by 3.5 inch tall by 10 inch long forge. Like, you could probably crank a 1/2 inch burner up really, really high and you'd run that perfectly. Or you just run a big burner a little lower. You know, I mean, if in doubt, just get a bigger burner. You can always run it a little lower, right? So I'm now gonna grip onto this, and then we're gonna twist this, holding it with the tongs. Twist this so our little pretty thing here is in line with the ladle itself. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We're making a ladle, ladies and gentlemen. Make a little flat spot because it's going to be a beautiful place for me to leave my touch mark. I give that a little brusheroony. Speaking of forge burners, by the way, Sam's now in charge of that. And you can get that at sam-fowler.com. I still think you should have got the Sam Flower domain.
Yeah. Oh no.
Next time.
Oh, don't worry, that's dead. Don't worry, the battery's dead.
There we go, got a nice little flat spot in there. And I'll run and get my touch mark in just a second. Make sure it's straight. Make sure that this little curly bit there goes in nicely. Bada bing, bada boom, bada ding, dum, dum. Lovely. I dare say I'm very excited with this. It's nice, we can show a little bit of the material that it all starts out at. A little one-piece piece there. There we go. Lovely. So I'm going to run over. Oh, it's over here. Oh, you're going to want to be close in on this. Close in on this puppy right there. This is where it happens, ladies and gentlemen. Make or break time. That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. Thank you to Sam, thank you to John Michael for helping out on today's stream. What a pleasure it's been having you all here. Here is the forge to finish spatula. Give it a little bit of a brush, set it up there. I'll do a little couple panning shots here for you, ladies and gentlemen. Go a little wider on this. Show you some fine detail right here. There's the spatula. So this is forged from inch round material. I can't remember how much material I used. Probably not a whole lot. But you can see, got a really nice fine taper running up this whole piece. Levels off a little bit and then reaches into the spatula. Right in this corner where the middle of the screen is, that's where the area was burnt, so it's a little crinkled in there. A little crinkle there where it got a little too thin too. Overall, stunningly thrilled with that. I'm going to go ahead and hold it and move it around for you. You can get a little bit of a better idea of how she looks, how she'll perform when held in the hand, when scooping all your materials. Scoop, 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 spatulate, spatulate, spatulate. Very exciting. We're going to wait for that to cool down while we have a little hangout here and read some of the final comments, and then I'm going to hold it in my hand and I'll wish you a farewell. We can turn the gas off indeed.
The gas is going off.
The gas is going off.
Oh, it's 2 bottles.
You got it.
What fire bricks would you recommend for DIY forge?
Hard fire bricks.
Hard
is what they're
fire bricks
called.
is what I recommend on Alec's behalf.
I don't know what else to call them, sadly. I think that's how I've always bought them as. They've always been called hard fire bricks. Oh, don't drop it.
The soft ones, they're incredibly fragile.
Yes, they are. Unless there's no load on them. I have soft bricks in the walls of my forge. There's 0 load on them, however. And they hold up perfectly fine. They haven't moved on me, so that's a very good thing. Sandy, I want to hit a different button. As much as I'm sure they love seeing my biceps. Just the women. All 3 of you. Gosh, for 2%. Save the 2%. Wonderful. Give this a little cool off too. I really want to hold this. I want to see how it feels in the hand. It's a really important part of the things that you make. It's warm. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. I'm really thrilled with how this turned out. You know, that gentleman earlier asked a very important question. It's why it is that we waste all this time just doing things by hand when we could come buy one at a store that takes a minute to make with a machine and is a better tool made of stainless steel, you know, yada, 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 yada. You don't have to care for it. You just use it, you know, perfectly round and concentric. Well, the reason is this, okay, a little finishing work needs to get done. It'd be brought up to a very fine polish with a wire wheel and an angle grinder, and then, you know, use like a vegetable food-safe oil to finish it. You good, Sam? I was on a roll there. But I was on a real roll. Oh well. Back into the roll. You use a...
Can I carry on? No.
Go for it, Sam.
With 2% women, I'm pretty sure there are more gay men watching than straight women.
Sadly, this is a thought that I've considered. Sadly, I've considered that probably more gay people have a crush on me than the women who watch this show. It is what it is. Hey ho. Thanks, guys.
Carry on with your roll.
It's done, Sam. I think we need to end the show. I think I'm going to cancel the YouTube channel. Not having the desired effect. Anyway, once you finish...
So this isn't a business plan. This is a life plan.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
This is your marriage plan.
Absolutely. So, once you finish this up with vegetable oil, you know, or some other kind of food safe oil, and you hang this up in your kitchen or in your workshop whenever you're cooking in the workshop, and you take this off the rack, then you pick it up and you go, I remember making this. That was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I got to do the hobby or the profession of mine that I love so much. And you get to hold something that you crafted with your own hands out of a frickin' piece of round steel. It comes on a bar just like this. You take this. You use a little bit of dinosaur juice. You use a little bit of oatmeal from your breakfast. Maybe a ham and cheese sandwich. Maybe even a triple chocolate muffin if you're fond of going to Greg's. And you make this from that raw material, and that is fun. There are plenty of imperfections, but there is to it. There's a beautiful history to it. There's a beautiful story to it, and that's the one that you made yourself. So that's the beauty of making things for yourself. This beauty of things, making things for other people, is you get to have this little piece of history passed on to somebody else. They get to appreciate the beautiful handwork in this. It is not perfect, and that is sadly the beauty of it. You know, it'd be nice for us to be perfect with our hammer blows and make perfectly concentric pieces and make perfect bowls and not be lazy in the fire and burn things. But you know what? This is part of why this piece will be so special. It's because it's got a beautiful story to it. That's why handmade things are so cherished by us as humans, because we see what goes into it. It goes into it a lot more. It goes in a lot. There's a much larger journey that goes on into making something like this. And that's very thrilling, because, you know, either me gets to hold this, or, for example, if this was something one had sold, they get to hold this, and they know there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to make something like that, and that is all part of the allure and part of the attraction to handmade things, and that's a beautiful thing. That's why I like making things by hand, because you get to have a great story with every piece, and there's no better feeling than picking up something that you made for yourself and using it, enjoying the use of it. There's no better feeling than learning the process of making it. And there's absolutely no better feeling. I assure you of sharing that with all you wonderful people who have been watching today. So I want to extend my gratitude again to Sam. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, John Michael, for all your help as well. I really appreciate it. To all of you that left comments, thank you. To all of you that left donations, thank you very much. To all of you that bought t-shirts on the website, thank you. To all of you that bought online courses, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for watching this stream. It's a thrill, real pleasure, real honor to have you all here. I look forward to seeing you either tomorrow or on Monday on the next episode. And when I finish off this kookery, super excited on this. I still haven't looked at the pattern, which is going to be a real blast when we do get to that. However, I'm going to bid you guys farewell for tonight. It's been a real pleasure making this for you. And I hope that you guys have a fantastic evening. Thank you guys very much. Let's give them a big round of applause. Woo! Thank you. Thank you.